Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? It's so fine, it's sunshine. Say the word love.
In the beginning, I misunderstood, but now I've got it, the word is good.
Spread the word and you'll be free. Spread the word and be like me. Spread the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? It's so fine, it's sunshine. It's the word love. Everywhere I go, I hear it said, in the good and the bad books that I have read. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? It's so fine, it's sunshine. It's the word love. Now that I know what I feel must be right, I'm here to show everybody the light. Give the word a chance to say that the word is just the way. It's the word I'm thinking of, and the only word is love. It's so fine, it's sunshine. It's the word love. Say the word love.
Say it with us.
Say the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love.
Yeah, all right. Beautiful. Say the word love. Love is a powerful word. Love is a powerful word. That's the Beatles. 1965, Rubber Soul album. You forgot about that album. That's a great album. Love is a powerful word. John Lennon co-wrote that song with Paul McCartney. And he said, love is the underlying theme of the universe. Now, in that song, it's like the Beatles, they're practically proselytizing in that song. They say the word and you'll be free. That's a big promise. Say the word, you'll be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard? The word is love. Now, the word love is powerful, but only if it's real. You can't just say it unless you say it authentically. It reminds me of a story I heard from Tony Campolo. He writes, a friend of mine who was a pastor of a Baptist church once was confronted by a woman in his congregation who wanted to have her daughter done, quote unquote, by which she meant baptized. He said, my pastor friend was reluctant to baptize this 7-year-old girl because he wasn't sure that she'd had a genuine conversion. Since it is the custom in the Baptist tradition to baptize only believers, he was hesitant to agree to the woman's request. However, the woman was so insistent that this young preacher felt that he had no choice and that he best go along with it. It was the custom of the church that anyone who was going to be baptized give a personal testimony of his or her conversion experience at the midweek prayer service. The night came when the little girl who was to tell that how she came to believe in Jesus before the entire congregation in her own words. something about her Christian experience. The little girl started by saying, "For years I wandered deep in sin." Snickers and giggles went up among the people in this small congregation. It was pretty obvious what was happening, what she was doing, simply repeating the things that she'd heard other people say. She wasn't sharing her own faith, she was just mimicking other people's. I wonder how many of us simply repeat what we've heard from others rather than trying to pass that experience of other people's off as our own. Now, some people's spirituality or religion is about repeating other people's words, whether it's a creed or a dogma, or if it's because it's what their parents or their grandparents believed. Some people vote for one political party because that's what their parents did. Some people don't know what they think. They just repeat what they hear on the cable news networks. Some people just say what their friends say, or think what their friends are thinking, or like what their friends like. Whose life are you living? Are you sure you know who you are? Or what you really believe? Words are powerful. All our lives have been shaped by words. Words said about us, words said to us, words said over us. We remember some of the positive words, some we remember of the positive words, but we always remember the hurtful words. Just ask any preacher who's here. We could finish a sermon and 400 people could come rushing out of the sanctuary, shaking our hand, telling us how wonderful that sermon, how deeply people were moved, how it just spoke right to them, and yet it's that one negative comment that one person made, right, Gerald? That's what we dwell on the whole rest of the night. It's not that we're so fragile. It's just part of the human experience. They've done studies on it, in fact, to try to figure out how many positive things have to be said to counteract just one negative statement. I don't remember what they came up with, but it's just what people do. The point is that words are very powerful. Love is initiated by words. Divorce is initiated by words. Wars have been started by words. Now, if you read the Hebrew scriptures, it says the world was created with words. It says God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And in the Christian scriptures, the Gospel of John begins, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God," it says. Now, you don't have to believe this to know that words are powerful. They can create realities, and they can change the world. Now, perhaps the most positive and powerful words are, "I love you," "I'm sorry," "Thank you," "I need help." But they're only powerful if they're real. It's like when you're a child and your mom says, "Go tell your sister you're sorry." It's like, "I'm sorry." Yeah, I didn't quite feel that. Or, "I'm sorry," you know. It just doesn't feel the same. It has to be real. And the thing is that we can tell when somebody is not being real, not being authentic. It's like we were born with a BS meter, and we can tell when people are not being sincere. That's what I meant, BS, being sincere, right? That's what you thought. I hope that's what you knew I was saying. Words are powerful. You could lose your job by saying the wrong words. So I want us to go back to I love you, I'm sorry, thank you, I need help. These are powerful words. This week, our nation is commemorating 20 years since September 11th, 2001. I remember some of us came here that night, and we had a celebration. It was not a celebration, a vigil, a candlelight vigil, and we didn't even know what to do with ourselves or what to say. But we were so glad to be together and to light candles and to read some wise words that helped us get through the night. Now, many of us know the story of Flight 93. People who began getting phone calls on their cell phones from family members who were telling them that some planes were being hijacked and being used as bombs. And when they realized that their plane was going to be used as a bomb to harm our country, they took a vote. They said, should we do it? Should we try to wrestle back this plane from the hijackers? They knew that it was very risky, but they agreed to go for it. And as some passengers heroically swung into action to fight for control of the plane, many of the other families called their loved ones to say, I love you. Maybe even to say, I'm sorry, or thank you. These are the kind of things people say in a moment like that, when it's real, when nothing else even makes sense to say but something real. But we don't have to wait for a moment like that to reach out to people and to use these words to help spread light and goodness and love in the world. But we have to keep it real. And people have their BS meter, and they know when we're not being real. And that's what this church is all about. It's the entire premise of All Souls, that we are people who refuse to just mimic someone else's faith. So we don't try to fill our children's heads with doctrines. Instead, we work to inspire them to feel and to think for themselves, to help them articulate what is true and real from within their own hearts. To do this, a person needs to learn how to listen to their heart, or what we sometimes call our conscience. Some people ask me, well, if you don't teach doctrine in that church, what do you teach the kids in Sunday school? And I tell them we try to teach them to listen to their conscience. We try to teach them how to love and how to receive love, how to be real with others and with themselves. You know, Thomas, you grew up here. Of course, we teach them about world's religions. We teach them about the basic stories of the Bible that have shaped Western and continue to shape Western civilization and literature and arts. And we show them how evolution is probably the greatest and most miraculous creation story that actually can unify our entire world. But ultimately, we don't try to stamp our minds onto our children's. We try to inspire their curiosity and their own moral compass. Now, in a lot of religions, children are brought up memorizing the doctrines. Did any of you grow up in a church where you had to learn the catechism? All right, I'm seeing some hands online. You can put it in the chat. I know Catholics have catechism. Certain Protestant churches have a catechism. And in these faiths, children are tested on whether they can repeat the right answers, the true answers. How about a creed? Did anyone grow up learning, reciting, or reading a creed? So we have a different way of being religious here at All Souls. Now, I'm going to end here, but or in a minute. But first, I want you to know that I was asked to speak to the children this week about our theme for the month of September, which is calling or vocation. I explained that it's about learning to listen with your heart. That, when I was growing up, when it was time for dinner, my mom would call me, out the back door, Marlin, it's time for dinner. I would hear her with my ears. And sometimes I get a phone call, right? We all on my cell phone, and I get that call and I hear with my ears. And we all know how to hear with our ears, but we come to church, come to All Souls to try to learn how to hear with our heart. And when we're talking about calling, we're talking about how do we listen to our conscience from inside. Sometimes you might see somebody fall down or drop something and you feel called. Something inside just pulled you to, I want to go help that person. Or you see something on TV, maybe a natural disaster, hurricane or something, and you feel called to donate or to do something to make a difference. If we pay attention to our heart, we'll feel called in many moments of our lives. So here's what I want you to do during this next song and during this week that is before us. I want you to think about who in your life you need to call to say, I love you. People can be starved for words, especially those words. Or who you need to call to say, I'm sorry. Sincerely say, I'm sorry. Or thank you. I haven't thanked you. And if you're struggling with something, and who among us is not struggling with something, I want you to think about who you're going to call and say, I need help. In fact, I'm going to give you permission this one time to take out your cell phones, even those of you in the sanctuary, during the service. And if you feel so moved, you could text somebody and tell them, I love you, thank you, I need your help, whatever it is that's in your heart. Because I want to say, all of those expressions, no matter which words you use, they all speak to a deeper truth, which is love. They all speak to the ability to love and to receive love. And as it's been said, love is the underlying theme of the universe. I love you. Amen. Thank you for joining us. For 100 years, All Souls in Tulsa has been a beacon of this free faith. We offer our services and programs freely online for all those who are interested. You can help us to do this by making a one-time gift today or a reoccurring pledge. We really appreciate you joining us and being a part of helping us make All Souls in Tulsa what it is. Thank you.
No New Year's Day to celebrate. No chocolate-covered candy hearts to give away. No first of spring, no song to sing. In fact, here's just another ordinary day. No April rain, no flowers bloom, no wedding Saturday within the month of June. But what it is something true, made up of these three words that I must say to you. I just called to say I love you. I just called to say how much I care. I just called to say I love you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. No summer's high, no warm July, no harvest moon to light one tender August night, no autumn breeze to no fallen leaves, not even time for birds to fly to southern skies, no Libra sun, no Halloween, no giving thanks to all the Christmas joy you bring. But what it is, though old so new, to fill your heart like no three words could ever do. I just called to say I love you. I just called to say how much I care. I do. I just called to say I love you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I just called to say I love you. I just called to say how much I care. I do. I just called to say